And that's what I like to see in newsrooms, is when you understand just enough to be like, hey, I know you're really good at this, and I think that this would be a good use of this format for my story. That's when really creative stuff is born. My biggest piece of advice would be that you don't have to be an expert in everything. Like, you don't have to be an expert coder and an expert video editor, but you should know enough to be able to communicate with those teams. I think being able to communicate with people that do different types of work can lend itself into some really creative collaboration. Ethan's editor, Cash, came to me and said, hey, Ethan has this story. I think it has some potential for interactive. Like, what would you think about doing some sort of map that follows them? And I took a look at the prelim story and kind of sat down with Cash, and we were like, yeah, that sounds really good. I thought that there was going to be more multimedia, like more photos and videos, and more things that there would be to make it feel a little bit more like travel-y, I guess I would say, like train stubs and those kinds of things. So I think this piece could have been stronger, but the concept of having the map at the top and the line move as you go through the story, that was envisioned from the beginning. One thing that I think from a visual standpoint that would have been cool was if you look at it as the line on the map moves, it doesn't necessarily coordinate with the story. So, I thought that the story was going to be kind of in order, and, as the map moved over Missouri, you would, that's when they would be in Missouri, in the story. And that's not the case. The story is just more of a narrative, traditional story that, doesn't... So I think that would have made it stronger if the story had been written in a way to correlate with the spot on the map. And then if that was the case, then we could have included photos and videos from those specific places, so it was kind of all in conjunction together. So I think I would have advocated for more photos. As you're in the train and you're at a specific place, what does that look like for you? What does the inside of the train look like? What is the view from the window? Kind of give it more of a sense of place. Since if you're adding the map, you're telling the reader that the sense of place is important. And so I think we could have hit that point a little stronger. So the graphic was made by our creative team, the actual map that you see on the page, and then the animating the line by scrolling, that was done with through a developer. This one wasn't as team-driven as some of the other projects that I've done, just because this wasn't as heavy of a lift on my team. This one is pretty small. If you look at the credit box at the bottom, there's only 6 people listed. But this one was actually pretty easy. It didn't cause me that much pain. Normally I could have a whole laundry list of items. And then one thing that we looked at a lot from a multimedia or from an interactive angle was how big the map should be. How on a desktop or on mobile, how deep that should go. And, how much of the screen should be map versus how much of the screen should be text. That was something that I would say was the thing that we went back and forth on the most regarding the interactive part of this. We played around with a lot of different, first we wanted to make it big, then we decided it was too big, then we decided it was too small. So that was something that probably got the most attention from us. I think what we wanted this map to convey was how long the journey really is. And when you animate the line in such a slow pace, it really gives that feeling that this was a long train ride. And so that's what I think the piece probably does the most, is kind of give you that sense of how long the journey was. I would say that this project gave us the opportunity to have some really good conversations surrounding readability of text, and how big the text should be, how much visuals can cover up the text. So that was, it was a good opportunity for me to have those conversations with reporters and editors and people who don't normally have to think about user experience.